Optionality lays at the heart of societal progression and individual empowerment. The decision to choose what clothes you wear, what media you consume, or what career you pursue are largely privileges which have only come to fruition in the past couple of decades. Yet, in a generation that has the privilege of possessing more options than ever, it feels as if we are more stuck than ever. But why? Put it simply, decision paralysis is to be overwhelmed by a plethora of choices, causing an inability to choose a singular one, with the fear of it being the incorrect option. It's something we've all struggled with. Mindlessly scrolling Netflix for over an hour looking for that perfect movie, only to realize you could have finished at least half of any movie if you just decided earlier instead of wasting all this time browsing. The fear of making the wrong decision will also cause a very low tolerance for anything slow. I remember growing up, and people would regularly recommend shows with the caveat of, oh, the first few seasons are slow, but don't worry, it's worth it, it'll pick up, just stick with it. And people would just accept that and go with it. Now, I swear I can only make it a couple minutes into a YouTube video before this dude just keeps fucking rambling, bro. Just get to the damn point.
This is the largest slice of pizza in the entire world. Look how long it is.
Just stick with me here, okay, and watch till the end, because I promise I'm going somewhere with this. Payoffs need to be so fast now, and it sucks. If the first couple minutes of something are boring, the first place my mind goes is that other thing I wanted to watch. Then I switch, then that one's boring too. Before you know it, I've wasted a whole evening and gotten nothing out of this amazing optionality I possessed. I would have been better off just being told to watch one and not being able to switch or have any optionality at all once I reached a final decision. The same goes for my day-to-day life. Some days I feel I possess the freedom to do whatever I want with my life. Today I can do something that can change my life forever. But as I mull over the options, the weight of making that perfect decision causes me to literally make the only wrong decision, which is the decision not to commit to doing any single thing. Normally, falling back on some level of structure helps me avoid this paralysis. Oftentimes, my best days are when I have a whole schedule planned of exactly when I will accomplish each thing that I want to do, or the complete opposite, where I have designated time to doing exactly nothing with no pressure on myself at all. There's an argument to be made as to why this paradox exists. And no, I don't think it's simply because of short attention spans. That's the most prominent symptom, yes, but there's something deeper I wanted to find. I think a lot of it stems from social media. Not just the pressure to make a good decision, but more so this idea of low commitment relationships that social media has normalized for all of Gen Z, who were effectively test dummies with little to no oversight for the era of social platforms. I read about this concept in a book called The Anxious Generation, and it really struck a chord with me. As a generation, for the first time, so much of our social development was formed in the digital world. Yes, we were conversing and connecting with more friends and people than ever, which is amazing, but with that came many severe costs, which we are still unraveling to this day. The big one, though, was this idea that at any point we can choose to turn off our digital presence, and in the blink of an eye, have it disappear from most any real-world repercussions. The extreme effects of this can be seen through cyberbullying or the empowerment people feel by being anonymous, wherein people leverage these lax consequences by acting extremely different than how they would have in a traditional face-to-face community. But on a more simple note, it normalized this idea of ghosting someone, simply flipping a switch and turning off your relationship with someone or something. If you were to go from being friends with someone and speaking to them every day face-to-face, it's very difficult to stop talking to them without any notice or facing some kind of retribution from the other person, be it in the form of words, conflict, personal guilt, observation from social peers, etc. Digitally, however, it's become quite normal to just disappear from a relationship with little to no external repercussions comparatively. Our relationships are siloed through these social platforms as middlemen, creating a layer of friction which reduces the consequences of such actions. The same can be said for media and really anything we do online. If we don't like a YouTube video, we click off immediately. The same goes for movies. Switching between options is now as cheap as it's ever been, meaning commitment is now as expensive as ever. Companies have adopted to this demand for optionality, which we so heavily value. The likes of Netflix or Tinder have made billions of dollars by offering a seemingly unlimited number of options which could appeal to you. But in reality, what that's done is dangle a false promise of something being better just around the corner. The more you value this need for optionality, the more you ultimately feed to these companies' bottom line. Therefore, they continue to propagate this idea of something being better when in reality there's really nothing there. That idea of something being better just around the corner is what brings you to this conundrum, where eventually nothing gets done. Even if you choose to do something and stick to it, it's very possible to have that looming thought in your mind, comparing it to other things you could be doing instead. What that does ultimately is rob you of complete experiences. I love watching movies in theaters, and part of that is because it's so easy to get lost in a completely new world for a couple of hours. The sound system, comfy chairs, and massive screen make it much more costly for me to divert my attention, and as a result, provide a much more enjoyable, immersive experience. Compare that to my living room, where the cost of shifting my attention is so much lower, making it much more difficult for me to escape distraction, leading to a choppy, half-invested movie watching experience. The same can be said for social relationships. There's something so magical about having conversation with friends or family where you completely lose track of time and just yap for hours on end. In a generation of incessant multitasking, there's something so beautiful and human about monotasking, just committing to one thing at a time. A lot of philosophy will lead to this idea of presence, being fully attentive to what's going on in a particular moment, and really, that's what I think this ramble comes down to. The only way to free yourself from stagnation is to clear out the noise and just take life one step at a time. It's as simple as making a singular decision and committing to stick to it. In doing so, you will slowly start moving in a direction. I can't promise you it's the right direction, hell, even a good one. But it's better than being paralyzed by options, being stuck in the exact same place. In choosing a direction, you will find an experience that is guaranteed to shape you in some minuscule way, eventually providing the momentum for a final, worthwhile destination. Thank you. Thanks for watching. New rambles every Friday. Click on Homer's beautiful face to subscribe. I hope you have a beautiful day.